They don't just stop calling you, they remove you from their life. And the loudest sound in your house right now is not the TV, not the wind on the porch, but the accusation echoed in the silence. Let's talk about a brutal truth that no one wants to bring up at family dinners. Let's talk about the message you send, still showing as delivered in green or blue, but never showing read. Let's talk about the birthday card you mailed 3 months ago, the one with a check tucked inside that has never been cashed to this day. You sit there, replaying the last 10 years of your life like an old blurry film reel. You search for evidence of guilt. You look for the moment, somehow, when you became the villain in your own child's story. You wake up at 3 a.m. with guilt pressing on your chest like a heavy stone. You wonder, was I too strict? Did I love them too much? Or not enough? But here's something no one tells you about that silence. That silence isn't accusing you of being a monster. It's accusing you of being human. And today, we're going to do something different. We're not going to try to fix them. We're not going to beg them. And we're not going to condemn ourselves just to earn one phone call. Today, we're going to do the hardest thing. Clear your name and restore your worth without denying the gray areas. I know who you are. The world may see an elderly person, a boomer, but I see something else. I see the nights you drove that old car to take your kids to practice after a grueling 10-hour shift. I see the trips you never took, so your child could get braces. I see the retirement account that's smaller than it should be because you paid for the college degree that they now use to explain why you're toxic. That irony cuts deep, doesn't it? You raised them to be independent. You taught them to speak up. You told them stand up for yourself. And now they're using that very voice, that very independence to turn their back on you. Here's the first raw truth. You may have done many things right and still gotten some things wrong. Both can be true at the same time, because parenting isn't about being a saint. Parenting is about being human, under pressure, with limited resources. In an era when no one taught you how to parent with emotional language, maybe you said things that hurt them. Maybe you were too strict. Maybe you didn't know how to apologize properly, because no one ever apologized to you when you were young. But listen to me clearly. Mistakes don't automatically make you toxic. An awkward comment isn't a crime. A stressful period isn't a life sentence. Your generation lived by duty and endurance. Your children live by happiness and self-expression. They are two different languages. And when there's no translator, misunderstandings easily turn into charges. Today, we won't deny the gray areas, but we also won't let those gray areas become handcuffs around your neck. Why is this happening everywhere? Why does it feel like everyone is losing their kids to this silent epidemic? Let's look at science, not to confuse you, but to protect you from destroying yourself. There's a concept called differentiation of self. Ideally, a child grows up, separates from their parents, and becomes an equal adult. It's usually a gentle curve, but many adults today never learned how to do that gracefully. They don't just need to be different from you, they need to oppose you to feel like they exist. Think of a teenager slamming their bedroom door. Why is the slam so loud? Because they don't know how to close it softly. Now, imagine that in a 35-year-old. No contact, blocking your number, disappearing. That's the adult version of slamming the door. But here's the key point where we have to be fair. Sometimes no contact is truly a shield. In families with violence, abuse, or severe control, cutting contact can be necessary. But in most cases where you're hearing this story, it's not because you were an abuser. It's because in this generational clash, the label toxic has become a hammer. And once someone has a hammer, every memory turns into a nail. Have you heard these words thrown at you? Narcissist, gaslighting, toxic, trauma. Suddenly grounding them for stealing the car becomes trauma. Asking them to clean their room becomes control. This is the most painful part. Memory isn't a video recorder. Memory is an editing room. People cut out scenes that don't fit, add background music, add dialogue, to create a story that helps them live with their present. You don't have to agree with their movie to understand why they made it. But you also don't have to plead guilty to crimes you didn't commit, just to hear their voice one more time. This is where many people get it wrong. They tell you, forget it, let it go, stop thinking about it. No, you're not a robot that can press an off button for pain. I'm not here to teach you don't feel pain. I'm here to say something different. You have the right to feel pain, but you don't have to live as if you're convicted. And here's the line: dignity is when you stop chasing, but still keep a human heart. Avoidance is when you pretend nothing happened while rotting inside. Dignity isn't about being tough. Dignity is about being whole. You can cry, you can remember, you can grieve, but you don't use your tears to trade for their return. You don't turn yourself into a full-time waiter. You're sitting by the phone, you're waiting. So you're the victim, right? No, that story ends right now. Waiting is passive, and you are not a servant. You are a mother, a father. You are the architect of the years you have left. I give you permission to stop chasing. There is deep dignity in standing still. Picture a lighthouse. It doesn't run along the shore chasing boats. It doesn't shout into the storm. It stands still, it shines. If the boats want to come home, they know where the light is. But the lighthouse never leaves its foundation. And here's the gray area you need for balance and credibility. The lighthouse also needs maintenance sometimes. It needs the lamp repaired, the glass cleaned, the bulb replaced. In other words, you don't chase your child, but you can still reflect on yourself with kindness, not to confess guilt, but to grow. If they choose no contact, fine. You choose an open door. One message, just one, but I'll help you craft it so that it doesn't beg, doesn't accuse, doesn't demean yourself, and still keeps your humanity. The 3-line rule. 1. Love mom, dad loves you. 2. Boundary. I'm ready to talk when there is mutual respect. 3. Life until then, I'm gonna live my life. Example. Mom loves you. I'm here, and I'm open to talking when we can treat each other with respect. Until then, I'm gonna live my life. Then stop. No follow-up 20 messages. No sending long lectures. No trying to convince them. Because every time you chase, you give them more power to run. This is the question that silences people over 55. And today I won't give you a pink-colored answer. If the phone never rings, you still have to live. Not live to prove to your kids that you're okay, but live because you are a human being who deserves it. You may have 20, maybe 30 years left. These are your years. You spent the first 20 years of your adulthood serving your children. Don't spend the last 20 serving memories of them. And here's the hard-to-swallow truth that saves lives. Not every story gets a reconciliation chapter, but every person has the right to a rebirth chapter. Who could you become if you let go of the role of the abandoned one? The woman who finally learns to paint. The man who finally plants a garden, goes fishing travels. The person who once lived only for family, now learning to live for themselves. Not selfish, just fair. Do you know the scientific secret of reconciliation? It's rarely the begging parent who draws the child back. It's usually the parent who rediscovers their own life. When they look back and see you broken, waiting, wasting away, they feel guilt, and guilt makes them run farther. But when they see you living, traveling, gardening, laughing, learning, curiosity replaces guilt. Wait, mom is okay without me. Dad is still happy. That curiosity is the bridge. I know you miss the smell of them when they were little. I know you miss the weight of them in your arms. That pain is real. Grieve it. Cry for it. But don't let that pain become your identity. Today, your task is not to make one more phone call, not to write one more apology letter. Your task is to stand in front of the mirror. Look at the person who survived sleepless nights, illness, hardship, and sacrifice, and say, "You did very well. You are human, and I forgive you." The phone may ring one day, or it may not. But until then, the music of your life must keep playing. And if one day they do come back, they won't find a parent crawling